Hey, hey, ho, ho, welcome to the show. Hey, 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 ho, ho, welcome. Alright. Creepypastas. I think NDL Mongoose summed it up the best when he said,
"Be careful not to choke on your aspirations."
and my 14 to 16-year-old self agrees, because I used to be freaking afraid of creepypastas. Let me take you back to the July of 2012, trying to do the math in my head here, where I discovered Squidward's suicide, and my descent into madness began. Just kidding. Freaking Squidward's suicide scared the crap out of me, though. I had not actually read the story. And so, I mean, this would be the first time doing it. Only thing I was scared of was this picture, and I just never continued. Never got on. I was too scared of the creepypastas. So, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna read some of this creepiness off and see how much of the creepiness stayed. Maybe this could be completely terrible. Who knows? Well, I mean, terrible as in it scares me. It's probably going to be actually bad. But I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There isn't one. Pretty cryptic beginning, but hey, starting off well. We need some crypticism in our creepypastas. That's a word. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. Bad career choice, if I have to say so. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. Then why would you fucking do it? But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but to us kids, us radical kids with our radical skateboards, at the time, would go crazy over it. Now, since I work directly with the editors and animators, I gotta view the new episodes days before they aired. I probably should be reading this so, peppily, but it's probably losing some of the zing. I don't know how to do a voice that's somber. I'll get right to it without giving too many details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity. So it took them longer to start up the season, but the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back several months. No, there wasn't. It's freaking realism. Realism is dead. There wasn't. It was fucking. I'm gonna verify this. April 8th of 2000, and then season 2 premiered November 2nd of 2000. Season 2 ended October 12th, 2001. Season 3 began March 22nd, 2002. That's a pretty big jump. And then SpongeBob movie to November 14th, 2004. And then May 6th, 2005. So that's very fucking reasonable. Now, since I sapped of creativity, several months, it was like 6. Several means 7 generally. Just trying to poke holes in this. Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be Fear of a Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that it isn't the final animation, animators would put up mock title cards, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as How Sex Doesn't Work, instead of Rockabye Bivalve, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop. Okay, I don't think they would do that, but whatever. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. Throat laugh? What the fuck's a throat laugh? God! How would you distinguish it to laugh at that point? The happy-go-lucky music plays as normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down, as he has a concert that night and needs practice. SpongeBob says okay. It's like, okay. And goes to see Sandy with Patrick. I don't think that's very realistic of SpongeBob. SpongeBob, keep it down. Okay. The bubble splash screen comes up, and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things began to seem off. While playing, a few flames blah 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 blah, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with the animation, so yes, that's not common. Sound is synced up with the animation. A few flames repeat themselves, but the sound, whatever. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There is a slight murmuring in the crowd before they began to boo him. Ooh, not normal cartoon booing that is common in this show, but you could hear a very clear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame. He too is booing, very much unlike him. I think he's been booed. I think he's booed before. Yeah. The shot goes to the crowd. Fucking shut up. I don't care about that. That isn't the oddest thing though. What is odd is everyone had hyper realistic eyes. More realistic than normal realistic, I guess. Very detailed. Clearly not shots of, but something a bit more real than CGI. What the fuck? Then it's not fucking just. Then it's not hyper realistic. It's just normal realistic. Or if it's not normal, or it should be like not as realistic. You know, it's not, whatever. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The shot goes to Squidward, sitting at the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of the night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part at this point is that there's no sound. Literally no sound. Literally no fucking sound, guys. I swear to fucking God. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off. Though, that's just stupid. That's fucking stupid. There's literally no point for you to say the feedback of the speakers. The story would be better if you literally didn't put that part with the speakers, because it's fucking stupid. Was there something paranormal going on? It's fucking as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking in the silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. Cry, wah, wah, get over yourself, Squidward. He put his hands, fucking tentacles. Put his hands, tentacles. It's like someone's correcting him over his shoulder as he's writing it. He put his hands, oh, hey, dude, he's got tentacles. Oh, yeah, sorry. Over his eyes and cried audibly for a minute more. It's fucking wild. All the while the sound in the background, very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly began to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at the shots 10 seconds apart, side by side. This fucking, why does it matter? All these varied details. That just makes it less realistic. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing. A storm be brewing somewhere. The eerie part is the sound. The Squidward sobbing sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes the sound was coming from through to the other side. What does that fucking mean? That's so stupid. As good as the sound the studio has, they don't purchase the equipment to produce that good of sound quality. So what are we supposed to fucking assume from that? What do you mean? Oh, the speakers are produces super realistic sound. did this video just like give the speakers an upgrade for a second? I mean, it's so fucking stupid. But the most damn it. Below the sound of wind and sobbing, very faint, sounded like someone was laughing. It came in odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it. We watch it so Christ, so pardon me if things sound too specific. But I've had time to think about them. I would think I would need more than twice to do. Why would you want? You would need more than twice. Okay, after about 30 seconds, take out your stopwatch. After exactly fucking 30 seconds on the fucking dot, no milliseconds afterwards, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed on the screen as if it was a single frame was replaced. The lead animator paused and rewound frame by frame. I think the animator, maybe the lead animator is the fucking culprit of this. Because he's just like, oh, frame, pause, frame by frame. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. Believe me, I know everything about aging children. The face was mangled and bloodied, one eye dangling over his upturned face and popped. Or popped. Just comma popped. The fink was, I don't know what bloodied really means. I guess there's just blood on it. 1A dangling over his upturned face. There's too much fucking geometry in this. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails laying beside him. He was lying on some pavement. It's lying, isn't it? He was lying on some pavement that was probably a road. Probably. I know everything about fucking roads. I'm a fucking... I'm also an architect in the second life. The most unsettling part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. Fucking hell. There was no crime tape, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. That's awfully presumptuous. I mean, what if somebody takes a picture of a fire, they don't just assume the person who took the picture started the fire. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping this was just a sick joke. Dead children? Probably joke. I mean, dead children, eye popping out, bloodied 6-year-olds. Sick joke. A little bit untasteful. Not very tasteful, but still a joke nonetheless. I put it on PewDiePie territory. The scream flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body in frame. There were now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was so done in hyper-realistic style, looking as if if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers. I still don't fucking know what hyper-realistic means. Shouldn't you just use... You're just adding hyper to something that doesn't need it. You just wanted it to sound better. The wind sounded as if with a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches. The laughing, a deep baritone, lasting at, not quite a bass though, a deep baritone. I should know, I'm a fucking music major. Lasting longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but we knew we had to, because, you know, we have to. I mean, could be another dead kid. Were we going to just live on knowing that there was a dead kid there? The time that photo was that of what? This time, fucking hell, why can't I read? This time the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was lying on her stomach, her barrettes? What are fucking barrettes? Those are like those fucking sword things you attach to rifles. Her left eye was too popped. I guarantee you that's not what it fucking is. Was too popped, and popped out, and popped. I think that you just restated the same thing you said 2 seconds ago. Naked except for undies, underpants, her entrails, let's not be fucking pedos here. Her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street. The photographers, it's just photographers is a weird word. Photographers, there we go. Shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female, you know fucking females, right, ran out. The show resumed. About 5 seconds after this photo played, Squidward went silent. As did all sound, like it was when this scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism, like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. They just stared into the screen, as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercingly loud. Apparently, It's 4 Aces wants to play some Neverwinter at the moment. Oh, and I lost my freaking place. The sound was piercing loud and most fear-inducing of all. His sobbing was mixed with even more fear-inducing than the fucking dead children. I mean, what? That's like, sob, scream! Sob, scream! What, is that fucking scary to you, bitches? Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate, heavier than last time. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep voice laughing, and this time, the very specifically low baritone, not quite bass, deep voice laughing. And this time the photo lasted for a good 5 frames. I counted each frame. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time was a photo of a boy, about the same age, but this time the scene was different. His entrails was being outpulled by his stomach by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangling. What's with all of his popped eyes? It's fucking weird. Blood trickling down. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe. But the next one was different. But we couldn't tell what. He went on to the next same thing. He went to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animating and sound editor's gasps on the floor. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were 5 frames from the video. We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eye focus on it. What the fuck? We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. That's fucking stupid. That doesn't even make sense. What? That doesn't fucking make sense. His entire body was cut open. His entrails pulled out. Why are his fucking eyes focusing on shit? Boop, I don't understand biology, but Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. Hey, what the heck is going on? Hillenberg said. Most people left the room at this point, so it was a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and caused me horrible nightmares. About as good of nightmares as if I saw Saw or something. The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO and the fucking speaker situation, just ghosts, maybe? The CTO was called in to analyze it. CTO? Chief Technical Officer. Sure. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over some new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds began before viewing it. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches. As if the timestamp may have glitched, showed the wrong time. Fucking hell. But everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened, and to this day, nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. No, that was fucking, dead kid in a cartoon, splicing the videos, person pulling out entrails, eye focusing on entrail hand? Nah, nothing to see here, guys. No child was identified. Doesn't somebody kill themselves in this? Oh, Squidward does, of course. Wait! Once the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, the full frame. The shot quickly panned. Do it! Immediately hands on a shotgun. Immediately puts the gun in his mouth. Pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter. Splatters blah 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 blah. And his bed. He flies back with the force. That's not how fucking force works. Except if he put it... if he put it as fucking horizontally. But why would you fucking do that? That's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Why would you even if you're gonna kill yourself, don't put the gun on your temple. Then the same place you punch someone to knock him out, you put your gun to your temple, because if you shoot it in your above in your mouth, then that's you could still live and you could just be fucking retarded. The last 5 seconds of this episode shows body on the bedside, one eye dangling, obviously, and what's left on the floor staring blankly. Then the episode ends. Video, let's see the video. Let's see how sexy this video is. This is literally nothing. Raw, 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 raw. Raw, raw, raw. What is going on? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Raw, 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 raw. This is literally the fucking dumbest thing. Does it even show him killing himself? Just fucking 90 minutes of bullshit. Of just raw, 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 raw. Of how they also posted the video with the story. This is fucking stupid. Apparently that's the original. That doesn't make it good. Well, I guess that's the end of this episode, everybody. Overall, I'd say, I would think the grammar would be worse, in all honesty. The only real issues were them saying laying instead of lying. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong about that, but yep. Good episode. I give it a 6 out of 3. That's a fucking good score, Connor. You sure you want to stay with that? Let's give it a 6 out of 15. 6 out of 15. 6 puffs out of 15 puffs. I'm not putting in 15 puffs. That's a goddamn lot of pufferfish. In the video editing. Love you all. Smooches. Mwah. And I will see all you in the next episode. Goodbye.